I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So as it is American Thanksgiving week, our last normal episode for this week will be on Wednesday. But I do have a special bonus episode that will land in your feeds for Thursday. It is a repost on the subject of MMIW, which is a pervasive crisis threatening Indigenous women here in America and really around the world. I hope you guys will check it out. And as they are the sponsor of today's episode, I wanted to remind you guys that with the holidays coming up, if you're planning on drinking at these holidays, Liquid IV is a great way to prevent a hangover if you drink it ahead of time, or if you are caught with a hangover, it's going to help you recover a ton faster. I am saying that from personal experience. Liquid IV has actually been recommended to me by 2 different doctors for my chronic illness, and it's definitely helped me with a bunch of different things related to hydration and health. If you're unfamiliar, Liquid IV is a hydration multiplier that also delivers 5 essential vitamins with like a pixie stick full of powder that you just pour in your water. Because it's a pixie stick, it's easy to throw in your purse. It's easy to carry while you're traveling. I highly recommend. And at the end of the day, you can try it for 20% off with our News du Jour code. And that is just DUJOUR for 20% off. Whenever you guys shop with or spend with our sponsors, you are helping our show. So I just wanted to remind you guys, buying some Liquid IV at a discount helps support our podcast. So it's a win-win-win. Anywho, I have a ton of mini stories for you guys today, actually 5 of them. And then we will get into basically a bunch of climate related stories and a bunch of stories related to Israel and Hamas. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, wanted to say happy birthday, Mr. President. Today is President Biden's birthday. He turns 81 and plans to spend the day pardoning 2 turkeys, as is tradition. And in more presidential news, former First Lady Rosalynn Carter passed away yesterday. She was 96 years old. She had just been moved to hospice care this week, despite the fact that her husband, Jimmy Carter, has been in hospice care for over a year. The two were very close and holding hands until her dying day. If and when President Carter passes, I will go ahead and do a deeper look at the both of them, both of their lives, and their strong relationship. May she rest in peace. And for our next mini story, George Santos. So shortly after Thanksgiving, you guys, it appears that Congress will vote on whether or not to expel Republican Representative George Santos. If you guys are new here and haven't heard about him, long story short, he ran a pretty unethical campaign for Congress. And there was recently a House committee that looked into all of this, and so they're recommending that he be expelled. This is a rare instance where both parties really seem to want somebody out. The Republicans maybe even more so, because he's a black mark on their record. So they want to show the world that they do not align with him. If removed, he would be the 6th representative ever to be expelled. And then for our next mini story, a singer known as Cassie, she dated Sean Combs, also known as the rapper Diddy, and they settled a lawsuit that she filed against him behind closed doors. She alleged rape, physical abuse, vast coercive control, and forced sexual encounters with male prostitutes that would be filmed. Her lawsuit has served to bring other allegations against him to light as well. If there's any additional news to come out about this, we'll let you guys know, but the lawsuit was filed and then settled in rapid succession. So we don't really have very much information to go off of. That's why this is a mini story, but if we hear more, we'll be sure to keep you guys informed. And lastly, for our last mini story, like I said, we have a ton of them today for some reason. I wanted to update you guys that Mayor Adams of New York, his home has been raided by the FBI. And as a reminder, they're investigating connections between his campaign for mayor and the nation of Turkey via construction companies. So if we get more information on this, we will definitely be doing longer stories about what exactly happened. But right now, again, we just have limited information. All right. So for our first longer story today, we just have, again, like a myriad of climate related stories to go over. So let's get into them. First and foremost, earthquakes and volcanic activity in Iceland. So one town in Iceland has been enduring 1,000 earthquakes daily, according to ABC News. Absolutely insane. But all of those tiny earthquakes are actually not the problem in and of themselves. They are a sign of what's to come, a volcanic eruption. Luckily, in modern times, we have technology that can help us monitor and predict eruptions. We also have the means to help evacuate people in time. But right now, they're telling us that magma is right underneath the surface, and it's not lava, but it's akin to lava. This could mean that an eruption, though, will happen within days, but scientists are monitoring the situation closely, and the government is keeping local residents in Iceland informed. We'll keep you guys posted. And then we wanted to cover the earthquake in the Philippines. So according to the New York Times, in the Philippines, at least 7 people are dead and 2 more are missing following a massive 6.7 magnitude earthquake. The earthquake actually happened underwater, but it knocked out power across this area. You know, schools, malls, homes, government buildings, they're all out of power. Everything had to be shut down due to this. Everything is closed right now. The airport sustained pretty minor damage, luckily, but everything is shut down for the time being, and we'll keep you posted if anything else happens in this situation. And lastly, in our climate-related news, someone died at a Taylor Swift concert in Brazil. So a fan passed away at a Taylor Swift concert when temperatures in Brazil hit over what felt like 140 degrees. 140 degrees, you guys. Imagine being at a concert when the air around you felt like that, like packed with 60,000 people. That is just insane. The girl who died was only 23 years old. Several fans fainted in the crowd as well. Taylor herself had to stop and catch her breath multiple times, unlike at her other performances, and she was handing out water to fans below throughout the routine. For some reason, the stadium Taylor was performing at did not allow concert goers to bring their own water in, so this resulted in a very dangerous situation for fans. Taylor is known to have a very the show must go on kind of attitude in general, which is probably why she's been so successful, but she's known to push through obstacles in order to deliver for her fans. But this was one time when her fans were truly worried about Taylor, and dancing and singing for hours on end in this heat, it was dangerous. Here's what she had to say about the loss at her concert. Quote, "I can't believe I'm writing these words, but it is with a shattered heart that I say we lost a fan earlier tonight before my show. I can't even tell you how devastated I am by this. There's very little information I have other than the fact that she was so incredibly beautiful and far too young. I'm not going to be able to speak about this from the stage because I feel overwhelmed by grief when I even try to talk about it. I want to say now that I feel this loss very deeply and my heart And my broken heart goes out to her family and friends. This is the last thing I ever thought would happen when we decided to bring this tour to Brazil. End quote. She also canceled her tour show for the next night, or postponed it, because of the heat. The heat was continuing. So I don't know when the show is going to pick back up, but we'll keep you guys posted on that. Probably the most poignant and crazy part of this might be the fact that this fan passed out at the second song, which was the song Cruel Summer. As we know, the Southern Hemisphere is entering their summer right now with these record-setting heats. And it is truly a cruel summer that would take a young person just trying to have fun at a concert. May she rest peacefully. And last for today, we have 2 updates for you guys when it comes to Israel's war on Hamas. First and foremost, the preemie babies have been evacuated to the UN. So 31 premature Palestinian babies, the ones that we've seen in these photos swirling online, they have been relocated to UN care. They now have incubators, medicines, and all the resources they need to get the best possible outcome. They are being looked after in the city of Rafah, located near the border with Egypt. Their evacuation from the hospital was facilitated by the Red Crescent. Secondly, I wanted to let you guys know that sources close to the matter, including the U.S. government, are claiming that a deal between Israel and Hamas may be imminent, according to Reuters. There are still over 200 hostages who have spent over 30 days being held, likely underground. More than likely, they haven't seen the sunlight in over 30 days. One woman likely gave birth in captivity. Several are confirmed to have died in captivity. So let's hope that this deal is close and that it can prevent more bloodshed. And lastly, I just wanted to let you guys know that there is continued bombing happening in Gaza, both in the north but also in the south. Israel is really trying to root out Hamas wherever they are hiding. And as we know, they do hide among civilians. So our thoughts and prayers are over there right now. Our donations are over there right now. And we will continue to keep you guys posted on this ongoing war. And that is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "Innocence is one commodity that once lost can never be regained." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review on that platform or a shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us to be able to keep creating the news du jour and reach more people who need a calmer space to consume the news. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/Sugar-Free Media, and that is also linked in our show notes. You can follow us on social media at newsdujour.podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. You can follow my personal account at It's Annie Bowles on both platforms as well. Any little noises you may hear in the background are my rescue pup. He has a little separation anxiety and always records with me. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour. Broadcasting from Oklahoma.